Okay, queens, let's have some real talk. How many of you have watched an eyeshadow demonstration either in person or on a video somewhere on another platform or even here on YouTube and tried to recreate that same look but then ended up looking like you got into a fight with your eyeshadow palette? Here's the thing. Most of these tutorials, as you know, are done on younger folks who have nice tight lid skin, have a great eye shape, everything just seems to flow on so smoothly. But when you get to our age, we suddenly start having these more complex eye situations, and those techniques and methods don't work for us. My eyes, they're round, they're deep set, they are close set, and now I've got this fun little thing happening here with the drooping upper lid. So it's almost as if my eyes decided they couldn't figure out what they want it to be, so let's throw it all in the mix. Today, I'm gonna show you what my actual method is for applying eye makeup to my eyes and dealing with some of the complications, because I want to be as authentic as possible, because I don't know everything and there may be some tips you can take from this, or you guys might have some suggestions for me that work for you. And I want you to stick around to the end because I've got this cool little tool that I'm going to show you guys that will help you determine what your eye shape is very easily. And I've created a handy dandy little free guide to help you guys on your journey with figuring out your eye shape and your method that works for you. All right, let me show you what I'm working with here, because I can guarantee there's probably some of you out there that are dealing with some of the same eye characteristics that I am. So do you see how you can see a lot of my iris? That is a round eye characteristic. Another thing is that they actually sit back underneath my brow bone, which means that they are deep set. And with deep set eyes, what can happen is a lot of eyeshadow will just disappear into the void. They're also close set too, meaning that I've only got about one eye length in between my two eyes here. So if they were wide set, you would see a little bit more real estate in between this area. And then the cherry on top, of course, is this upper lid drooping, right? That all started probably, I would say, sometime in my 40s. So thank you, gravity. So now I can spend time being frustrated and upset about what I'm dealing here with in my eye shape and the fact that I'm drooping, or I can figure out how to work with what I've got. So guess which one I choose. So I'm going to start out with my transition shade. Because of the fact that my eyes are now drooping, I want to appear more lifted. So I'm using an Esom Cosmetics palette today. And I'm going to choose this lighter shade right here because I want to keep that area light. So I'm tapping my brush, and the size of your brush does make a difference because you want to base it also on the size of your eyes. Obviously, I have a lot of real estate, so I can get away with a larger brush, but a smaller brush will give you more precision. The fluffiness of the brush will also determine how much product you're depositing, as well as where you hold the brush. So for example, if I held it down close, it's going to give more product, whereas if I hold it down towards the end, it's going to be more light and feathery. So I want to keep that transition shade above my natural crease because I've kind of lost my natural crease due to the drooping and hooding. So I'm going to keep that area light. And I'm also, you'll notice, I'm not dragging down, because when you drag down, that's going to just make that droopiness even more prominent. So I'm going ahead and I am putting that transition shade right here. It's actually right on my brow bone based on the way my eye is shaped. And because I have a larger eye, I can actually close my eye just a little and come right along the top part of this crease area here. So let's go ahead and do that on both eyes. Again, I'm coming in, I'm not going down, and I'm using light little strokes, keeping it feathery, keeping it light, because I don't want a lot of heavy product here just yet. So my method for putting on eyeshadow is probably a little bit different than others. I used to, back in the day, put one color across my whole lid. I don't do that anymore. And basically it's because of what I've learned over the years and the way my eye shape has changed. I also tend to start with, you know, obviously my transition. I've already prepped and primed my eyes before I even got started. But then I move into the dark colors before I go into any of the lighter colors or the shimmers. It's just my method of doing things. You guys can do it any way you see fit, what you're comfortable with, what you're used to. So I'm actually going to find a smaller brush. This one is a Sigma E25, one of my favorites, as you guys know. And I'm going to dip into a lighter color. I'm sorry, not lighter, darker. Can't get my words straight today. So let me go with this one here. And I'm actually going to use that on the outer corner. I can't see the names, so I will post the names of the shades in the description box below. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to tap some off on the back of my hand because I don't want this too dark. And my mirror's over here, so if I'm looking off to the side, that's why. But I'm going to concentrate this just on this outer corner, because with my round eyes, what I want to do is I don't want to bring dark colors all the way in. I want to kind of focus on the outer 2/3 of my lid. And I also want to be sure that when I'm applying, I'm doing it in more of an upsweeping fashion. So I'm doing just little round circular motions and bringing it in. And one thing that I learned from Donna Delia, who's been doing makeup for years and years and years, used to work for Makeup Forever as a trainer, and now she's got an amazing SFX Halloween class happening right now, if you're interested in that, is she taught to, the way she does it is she blends dark colors into light and then light colors into dark, which is kind of just a helpful rule of thumb. But again, there are no rules in makeup, so you can do whatever makes you happy and what works for your face. So I'm just gonna buff that in. And I'm going to take a clean, fluffy brush. This is the new Nikki LaRose N20, which I am going to post an unboxing video because this brush right here, I love. So let me go ahead and do the other eye in that same color. And I did bring it up a little bit on this hooded area so that you can actually see it. And when I step back, and this is something that I've been doing a lot myself lately, and it's something I recommend for you guys as well. When you're putting on your makeup, what I like to do is just take a second and pull away from my mirror and just look as if somebody were looking at me, so I can kind of see like what they would see. Like, where is my color placement? Where is my blush placement? Does my foundation look even? Those kinds of things. Sometimes when you just step back for a second, I think it really helps when you're trying to figure out color placement. So let me come back on this side. And again, I'm trying to keep it, I'm doing kind of like a V, but in that kind of sweeping motion. And I am bringing it up on my brow bone just a little bit because I've got that drooping and sagging. And I want to draw the attention this way. And look, I don't know about you guys, but I am one of those individuals that likes to continuously learn. So like last weekend, I had the opportunity to attend the makeup show. It was here in Houston, hasn't been here since 2021 or 2022. And it's usually 2 days. It's usually a Saturday and Sunday, and there's just so many workshops being led by folks like, James Vincent, Melanie Mills, Joe DeLude, Danessa Myricks. I mean, it's just jam-packed with so much education. I really, really enjoyed it. I got some really good tips, especially for mature skin. I took a mature skin class with Joe DeLude, so I'll be sharing all the goodness that I learned over the next few videos. Now again, I'm just going to buff this out so that I don't have any harsh lines and everything is well blended. Now, because again, I am close set and I'm rounded and deep set, what I'm gonna do now is I want to focus on this area here, and I want to keep that light and bright so that it gives the illusion that my eyes are not so close set and it makes them look a little bit more open. Not that I really need that because my eyes are huge, but if your eyes don't tend to be large like mine, then you know it's even more important to make sure you're keeping this area light and bright. So I'm actually going to take a flat brush. This one is from Crystal Lee. I love the color of her handles. And I'm going to go in with, I think this is too light, so let me find a different one. This one might be okay. Let me just see the shade. Okay, so this one's slightly darker. I did a Sephora haul, and I'll show you guys what I bought from Sephora in another video, but I did pick up some product from the new Hung Van Go line. I had not heard of him until I saw some of my favorite creators popping up with product comparisons and testing out his products. So of course, curiosity got the better of me and I had to go pick some up and try it. But this is his new neutral palette. So I am gonna go in with this shade right here, and I am going to place that along my inner corner. And again, I'm just doing a patting motion because I don't want to disturb the eye primer I put underneath. And also because, you know, this is our movable lid. There is a lot of skin movement, especially as it gets more lax as we age. So I like to do a tapping motion instead of a sweeping motion. Now what I could also do is, if it was date night, say for example, which Ed and I are going out later for dinner, but it's only like 1:30 in the afternoon right now. So I can go ahead and I can put shimmer in through here, like in the inner corner and just on this part, and just make sure that it's well blended. The other thing you want to keep in mind is when it comes to any sort of eyeliners, you also want to start thin at the inner corner and don't draw it down, because I don't want to draw my eyes down. I want to lift them up. So when I get to the end, I'm going to kind of flick them up. So give me just a minute to find a good eyeliner and I'll demonstrate that. Okay, we're going to use this pencil from Esom, and the color is just brown. And then this is cool because it's a dual ended, so it's got another color at the end, which is actually a frost. It's called Citrine. It's like a champagne-y type shimmer. And I'm going to take my mirror so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to start, I actually start in the center just because it's easier for me. And I'm just going to get as close to that lash line as possible and start drawing my line. But when I get closer to the end, instead of drawing down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually flick it up so that it gives just an itty bitty teeny weeny wing, but it also is drawing my eye upwards. So let me, it's actually easier for me to look in the big mirror because behind the camera, you guys, I have this huge, one of those Hollywood style vanity mirrors, but the lighting on it is too harsh for the camera, so I don't actually use the lighting in that mirror. The thing that stinks is because I can't get right up close to it, so I can't completely see what I'm doing. So let me go ahead and do this eye. Close to the lash line as possible, keeping it super thin, almost in some cases taking it into the waterline as I get closer to the inner corner. And just, you can do little baby strokes because I know it can be hard sometimes, especially if your hands shake, to try to get that line. And then when I come out here again, I'm just taking the pencil and I'm flicking up. I'm kind of basically doing it right where the two water lines meet, because then I can just go back in and connect it to the rest. The other thing that I like to do after I'm done using an actual pencil is to take a thin angled brush. This is actually an eyebrow brush, but it'll work. I'm gonna take the angled end of this, right? I'm gonna dip it into some shadow, and then I'm gonna soften up that eyeliner so that it doesn't look too harsh. And again, you can do those same little baby strokes, but it helps to smooth out that line and soften it up. Yeah, just doing quick little baby strokes just to get it in there. Now, if I should decide to do color on the bottom, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, depends what I'm doing for the day, and quite frankly, my mood. I'll do that same thing where I'll make sure that I'm keeping everything connected and coming up. So I will probably do that before we go out tonight, but I'm not going to do it right at this very moment. A couple other things when it comes to round eyes to kind of make them look more elongated that you can do is when you are working on your brows, focus on this arch area here to bring them up. And when it comes to mascara or lashes, you want to focus on more towards the center of the eye, bringing those lashes up to make the eye look more lifted and open. So you're going to focus on this side and the center. And if you're doing false lashes, you can go ahead and just get the little single clusters and put them on the outer corner because that will work to help lift that eye. All right, queens, let's see how this all comes together. Everything that we did builds upon something else. It's like having a little system or a method that actually makes sense for you. So we went light on the inner quarters and this inner third of the actual eyelid. Strategic shimmer can be placed like right around this center area and into that inner corner. I put a little bit of a deeper shade out here and came up to help with the deep set. And in every instance, everything I did was more of a sweeping up method. When it came to the eyeliner, we did a little flick at the outer corner, again, to bring it up. And then for the lower lash line, again, keeping the darker colors out towards this side and always sweeping up. We talked about the eyebrow, where you want to focus more of the attention on the arch and bringing it out. And then we also talked about being strategic with your mascara in focusing more on the center and the outer lashes. And if you want to put on false lashes, doing the little clusters on the outer corner or even a half lash to give you more of that lifted look. The end result, my eyes look like my eyes. I'm not trying to look like anybody else. I'm just working with what works based on my age and the shape of my eyes. The cool thing is no matter what products I use, I can adapt it to this same technique in different ways. So what do you think? Does this method make sense to y'all? I'm not sure how you like to learn. I'm more of a hands-on kind of gal. So are you one that needs to be real structured where you follow exact steps, or are you one that just is like, give me the general concept, I'll figure it out and I'll adapt it to myself? I'm kind of curious as to how you guys learn to see if it's, similar to the way I learn or if it's different, because I always like to learn how other people do things. To me, it's interesting, it's fascinating, and you can always pick up some sort of tip from somebody else. Okay, queens, here's the eye shape tool that I mentioned earlier in this video that I want to share with you, and it's very cool. Go to eye-shape.com, upload a selfie of yourself and make sure you've taken it in natural lighting, the light coming in towards you, and upload it to this website, and it will analyze what your eye shape is. The cool thing is it's not just going to tell you, oh, you have round eyes. It's actually going to pick up all the different features of your eyes so you know exactly what you're dealing with. And then down at the bottom, it's going to give you some more information on what to do with those type of eye shapes. Recognizes that most of us have a combination of different things going on with our eyes, which is way more realistic. If you're into this approach, real talk, authentic, with the mistakes, without the mistakes, practical solutions, no BS, then stick around, subscribe, tell your friends, and hit that little notification bell so you'll know the next time I post a video. We're building something authentic here, queens, no fake perfection. I want real women helping each other look and feel your best, whether it's full face of makeup, no makeup, or just a natural glam look. And I'll see you in the next video, and I can't wait to hear your feedback and see how this goes for you.